Hi, my name's James Hester, and between the 26th of June and the 21st of July 2021, I'll be riding 2,100 kilometres over 21 days to mirror what the pro cyclists will be doing in the Tour de France. Been a massive fan of the Tour de France since 1987 when Stephen Roche won and the kind of ill-fated ANC Halfords team were riding. It's the first time I'd ever seen kind of British riders riding. I was only 10 years old and I got completely fascinated by the Tour de France. Last year I rode 55 kilometres every day that the original Tour de France dates were supposed to be happening, and I've decided next year for a challenge I'll be riding a kilometre for every single mile that the pros ride. So that's an equivalent of around about 100 kilometres to 120 kilometres per day for 21 days. The same days that the pros are riding, every mile they ride, I'll be riding a kilometre. I'll also be riding and climbing over 21,000 metres of climbing, which is over 2.5 times the height of Everest. Every time trial they ride, every mountain stage, every flat, every hilly stage, I'm going to try and replicate as much as I can in elevation. And here's the reason why I'm going to do this. So in May 2020, during lockdown, my wife Becky was diagnosed with breast cancer. It just suffice to say it came as a massive hammer blow to us as a family. And then obviously we had the chemotherapy, which took us all the way through 2020, and her radiotherapy finally ending literally just before Christmas. And now this is the 1st of January 2021, and she's in recovery at the minute and kind of getting over all of that stuff. The reason why I'm doing this is because despite the lockdown, despite my increased working hours, looking after the kids, looking after the dog, Beck's going through this properly grueling and horrific cancer treatment. There was a lot of support from charities such as the one I want to sponsor, which is called B.U.S.T, B.U.S.T, Breast Cancer Unit Support Trust, that are based in Southmead, where Becky had her diagnosis and a lot of her treatment. And I want to kind of just give back a little bit to what they have done for us in the last year, because they've been absolute miracle workers considering the circumstances they're in and how underfunded they are. I want to raise £5,000 by doing this challenge to raise some money for them, and also to get myself back in shape. Years ago I was a pretty good athlete. I've always been and enjoyed cycling, always been fairly good at running and swimming, and in this last year or so I've really let myself go as a kind of coping mechanism, really, with all the stuff that was going on. Too much bad food, not enough training, drinking too much, that kind of stuff. So that's another reason for doing this, is to kind of get myself back on the straight and narrow, get my fitness back, get my weight down, and go and do something for myself, but also giving back to the charity that's really helped me and Bex out in this kind of pretty bonkers last 12 months that we had in 2020. So there are 3 ways of supporting and helping me raise that money. The first one is pretty simple, the traditional way of just donating some money towards the cause. Essentially you can donate as little or as much as you like, and you just kind of support essentially in that way. The second way is to come and be a teammate for me. There are much more details on my Just Giving page and on the Facebook page. The links are in the description below. But essentially you'll come and ride one of the stages with me, be a support rider or a domestique as they're called in pro cycling, and you'll pay £50 or more to come and ride that with me. That'd be your way of donation, but also really being a morale boost for me, because this is going to be a mega tough challenge for me to get through. The third way is as more of a company supporter, to actually sponsor one of the stages. There are 21 of them, and this will cost £200 to donate plus. And every single day that I'm doing this challenge, I'm going to vlog every day, interviewing people that are on the bike, talking about the bike rides that I'm doing, the route that I'm taking, and some historical facts, all that kind of stuff, every single day. And what I'd really like to do is get some companies to support that by having the day sponsored by them, essentially. Obviously individuals can do this if they really want to, which I would love, and you can do it for any cause or any message that you want to put out there, but essentially I can see this possibly being supported by local businesses supporting each stage. That's essentially the best way of donating and helping towards this. Obviously there are other ways. If anyone knows any kit sponsors or anyone that can make t-shirts or anything that I can do to incentivize people to come and do the stages with me, it'd be great if you could get in contact. Again, all my contact details are in the description below. But essentially that's how you can help me get to this £5,000 target, which I'm absolutely committed and determined to do. So now I'm just going to talk through some of the stages. I'm going to put a little screenshot up here of the stuff I'm looking at. Talk through some of the stages, not all of them, because there's 21 of them and I don't want to bore you to tears with this. All the information, loads more details are in the description below. Start off with the Just Giving page. It explains everything in detail. Then there's a Facebook link as well to the Facebook page where I'll be putting much more detail on there. But please feel free to contact me. Essentially, we start on the 26th of June. And it'll be the Grand Depart. That's 116 kilometres. Stage 2 is 3 bridges. Be going over the Avonmouth Bridge, over into Wales, over the Severn Bridge, and then back into Bristol over the Clifton Suspension Bridge and back home. Then we've got the Wyvern of Somerset, a bit like the Lion of Flanders, really. There's a very big similarity between the Somerset flag and the Belgian flag. And out there in Somerset, the roads and everything are very, very Flandrian. So that's 113 kilometres. Then we have the Nicholas Angel stage, stage 4, 94 kilometres. That goes through Sandford. Any of you who know the film Hot Fuzz will understand the significance of that. Stage 5 is individual time trial. I'm going to use my my local club time trial route for that, which is a 10-mile time trial. The pros have to ride 16 miles. That's 16 kilometres for me, which is 10 miles. So we've got a perfect evening 10 there. That's assuming that building work doesn't shut that route down. We'll come to that as we get to it. Stage 6, Tea in the Castle, goes through Banwell, 89 kilometres. Then we get to the longest stage of the tour. They decided to put the longest stage in the last 20 years in the 2021 tour, which is stage 7. The pros have to ride 154 miles, which I have to ride 154 kilometres, just shy of 100 miles that day. I'm going to honour my friend Tristan, who died last year, who's a really good friend and a great triathlete and a keen cyclist. This is the last bike ride he ever did before he passed away. So we're going to do that 154 kilometres pretty much on the same route that he did all those months ago. Then we get into the mountain stages. So the first one is called the Holy Trinity. Around here I got these 3 climbs that I really like doing. Brockleigh, Burrington Combe, and then Cheddar. We'll be doing that day. It's 93 kilometres, over 1,000 metres of climbing. Then the Limestone Cowboy. Oh yeah, 90 kilometres, and that's going up through Ebba Gorge, which is horrid, really super steep. Goes through Wookey Hole, Chew Magna. Then we got the Thatcher's Gold stage, which is flat, 115 kilometres. Then we got Double Cheese. This is stage 11. For the pros, they go up Mont Ventoux twice. Iconic climb, so I thought the best thing to do was to go up the most iconic climb in the local area twice, which is Cheddar Gorge. So we'll be doing that twice, 123 kilometres, 1,400 metres of climbing on that one. Stage 12 is Strada Bianchi to San Remo. It starts out on a gravel bike path. It's a bit like Strada Bianchi, and then comes back up the coast, the west coast, like the run into San Remo. That's 100 kilometres bang on, but a flat stage. Then we got a flat stage on stage 13. Again, just under 1,000 metres of climbing, so not that flat for me. Going up over North Bristol and under South Bristol. Then we go to Brecon for 5 days. There's a rest day in the middle of these 5 days, but this is where they'll be heading into the mountains. So the first one that we've got is stage 14, Special Forces and Bethlehem Courses, this one's called. Goes up over the Tirabad Military Road and then goes through a village called Bethlehem. Stage 15, Rock and Roll Tumble at the Wedding. Going to be climbing the tumble on that stage. That's 1,749 metres of climbing that day. It also goes past where I got married in Monmouth. Both my wife and me are both from Croydon, but we decided to get married at this beautiful place near Monmouth. So we'll be riding past that, then a rest day, and then, and apologies for any Welsh viewers on this, but I don't know how to pronounce the Blwch. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, famous climb called the Blwch. We're going to be doing that at stage 16. That's 105 kilometres, 1,500 metres of climbing. Then on the 17th, we have the Queen's stage. It's Bastille Day, or Quatre Juillet as they call it in France. This is the highest climbing stage, just shy of 2,000 metres on this day. This is a ride that I did as a recon a couple of months ago at the end of last year. Goes up Black Mountain, goes up Blwch Eryg, which is an unsuspectingly tragically difficult climb to do. 110 kilometres, just shy of 2,000 metres of climbing that day. And then the last day in the mountains, in inverted commas, over in Brecon, I've called this one Sold to the Devil, because we're going up either what is called the Devil's Staircase or the Devil's Elbow. Can't remember which one exactly it is. I've ridden up it before back in 2016 when I did a training camp in Brecon. It's the hardest climb I've ever done, proper zigzagging up that one. And that's the last climbing day. And then we go down Glastonbury on stage 19, 126 kilometres that one, through Glastonbury, through Pilton, where the actual festival's held. Then there's the final individual time trial, which will be called the Windmill Hill Time Trial. Goes around Wedmore, where there's a windmill at the end of the climb. I've tried to replicate what the tour organisers seem to be doing at the minute, which is a flat fast time trial with a climb at the end. That's exactly what this is on this day. And then the final stage, stage 21, into Bristol, going to end in Bristol and get a lift back and do all the kind of usual champagne stuff that I did last year as well, and how the pros do it. So that's a quick breakdown of the stages, but if you're interested in any of those, please do have a look at the really detailed rundown in the breakdown below in the description. So that about wraps up this introduction video to what I'm doing next year. Obviously, all my videos are going to be kind of centered around training for that. I will be incorporating swimming and running because I have another challenge that I want to do at the end of 2021, in the end of the season, that's going to involve those three things. Plus, I get super bored. So the most focus I've got to put is getting that fitness up so that I can recover in between the stages. I am a British Triathlon Performance Level 2 Diploma coach, so I've got no excuses of not knowing what I'm doing. I should know what I'm doing that I need to do. Obviously, the primary thing is to get the weight off and get the fitness up. But thank you for watching. Please drop me a line if you're interested in helping in any way at all. And please do read through the Just Giving page. It breaks down how to help me out with this challenge. And I hope you come along literally for the ride. I'm really excited about this. It's something that I think will be a massive challenge to ride essentially 2/3 of what the pros will be doing to raise some money for a really important charity that made a huge difference to my family in 2020. Take care, drop me a line, speak to you soon.